Greetings, welcome back to HM Live. Trust you're having a blessed summer. And of course, many of you are in camp meetings, have already been in camps. I've been in two and will perhaps be visiting the third this week. I feel blessed to have my preaching and teaching assignments in camps over. Next few weeks are very busy for home missions. We've just completed our Spanish conference, and just a few days from now we will be having our Building the Bridges conference that helps us to reach out to the black community across all of North America, and be happening in Atlanta. Go to our website. You can find more information on that meeting. You can find information about the workshops we're having at General Conference. It's an exciting time. It's a wonderful time to be in the church. God's church is moving in the right direction, and I'm excited about that. Many of you are applying the principles of the apostolic continuum that have been being taught, and I remind you again that if you will become a partner with Friends of American Missions, we will send you the set of CDs of J.T. Pugh as he teaches about, well, it's just a conversation between David Elms and J.T. Pugh, and remarkable, remarkable stuff. It's good to have in the studio one of those men who loom larger than life in any number of ways, and it's Granville McKenzie, who pastors a great church in Toronto, Canada, as part of the executive board of the United Pentecostal Church, serves as the executive presbyter of Canada, and has become a very good friend, a confidant, someone that I have visited with a number of times about various things. Brother McKenzie, I appreciate you, and I appreciate the work that you do.
My pleasure. Good to be here.
And thank you for consenting to be my partner in this particular version of HM Live. You pastor, as I mentioned, a vibrant, alive, growing church in what is an urban center, probably for many of the United Pentecostal Church here in the States. Toronto represents Canada, and that may be fortunate or unfortunate because Canada is as diverse as is the United States, but it's where we had a general conference, is what I'm saying. So a number of people will have visited Toronto that have never been to another province in Canada, never been to another city. As you look back through the years, what has been the key to the growth of the church that you pastor in that great city?
Well, Brother Coon, it's of course a delight to be with you, and even before I get to that, I just want to give great honor to the Home Missions Division under your leadership. I have been blessed so many times by the communique that you send out, and I look forward to receiving that. Good. And there are just a myriad of good ideas I've gotten from that we apply. In 1967, the First United Pentecostal Church, we called it the Greenwood Church locally, launched a new work. Daughter Works have been around for a long time.
Right.
Launched a work in the west side of Toronto. About 7 years later, our family moved there because of my parents' job situation. And so my dad became the pastor there. The keys to growth, really, looking at him, integrity,
right,
absolute commitment, total commitment to the work, no thought of ever giving up, or right. I shouldn't say no thought.
Just didn't follow through on any thought.
Just didn't follow through on that. And then, as would be indicated by our name, faith is something that he just had in copious quantities. So those would be the keys that I would see from his life, observing right. the way he operated, integrity, commitment, and faith. Right.
You transitioned into leadership there when your father died far too young. And of course, we put that all in the hands of God. But from our perspective, I'm sure that's the way that you and your family have felt any number of times. That transition at times was probably a challenge.
Yes.
But yet, I think maintaining the same principles you just mentioned, your father having, you stayed the course, and the church now has gone past any of those things, I suppose, and you're having a city impacting revival. What's producing that now? Now, it's easier for you to talk about your dad and all kind of other folks than it is about what's happening there now, but why now?
Honestly, when you look at any of the things that happen that have any sort of positive impact, quickly you see the hand of God behind it. 6 months into my pastorate, my dad had established an outreach Sunday school situation in another town, and I thought, we really need to turn this into a daughter work and get something solidly established in that town. And so I called Brother Garland Hanscom, a friend of mine from Ottawa, who was very experienced in planning daughter works, and said, would you come down and just have a chat with our outreach team as far as daughter works, with the intent of starting one.
Right.
Well, by the time he was done with those guys, there were 4 of them knocking on my door saying, we're ready to go.
We're ready to go, yeah.
And so I thought, well, here I am 6 months in. I don't have a clue about pastoring this church, to say nothing of overseeing 4 others. And but there are some things you just have to do now.
Right.
So I just have to say it was the hand of God starting that process. And so over the next year to 18 months, all 4 of those gentlemen were in place. They quickly learned, and we all quickly learned, that we have to trust each other. Right. We have to really understand that integrity is key. We just need to work together. But in a metropolitan area of almost 5 million people, there's room for 4 more churches.
Yeah, yeah. We could have 100+ churches
easily,
and still the community would hardly know we were there.
Absolutely. Which of course is one of the things that drives me. Within our confines, some of us may be known. Right. Well, 3 blocks from my church, nobody knows who I am. Yeah. And so that says to me that we have a long way to go. If Michael Jordan comes to town, if Sidney Crosby, of course, speaking from a Canadian perspective, comes to town, everybody knows, everyone's there. We have a lot of room for growth. Right. And of course, the good thing is it's not about me being known or you being known. It's about making Christ known, and we need to be in the communities where people are. So getting over the initial hurdle of just saying, well, how do we handle this locally when we have very good people? And I will say those who have gone into these ventures are very good people. Good. People who any pastor would want to have working with them. Right. But one day it really came home to me that one of a number of things will happen. We are going to lose these people anyway. If they stay and they have a call of God, they can wither on the vine, and that call dies, and they become useless. Right. They can just leave under a cloud and with bad feelings and no release, no blessing, and they go and they will start something, but you lose them. Or you can very proactively bless them, train them, develop them, help them to succeed, and set a situation in place where all of us can rejoice together at what God does.
You're helping somebody with that, because that's a real challenge for some of us sometimes, is realizing that these folks are going to go, or else they're going to sit here and become